Oh, wow. Did you mean to dress like a candy cane?
Violet is doing her best, Jen. Drop is the brand new horror movie from Happy Death Day director Christopher Landon. Does this Hitchcockian thriller deliver the suspense, or does it drop the ball? Now let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm KillJoy Jake, and I'm way too proud of that dumb pun I just said in the intro. Drop follows Violet, a widowed mother leaving for a date with Hunky Henry. That's not actually his name in the movie, but you're gonna look at that guy and tell me he ain't a hunk of meat? Once she gets to this sick rooftop restaurant serving as our principal setting for this thriller, she is terrorized by a series of anonymous messages to her phone. The airdropper instructs her to tell nobody and follow increasingly malicious instructions, or her younger sister Jen and her son Toby will be killed, culminating with her being told to kill her date. I know Christopher Landon didn't write this movie, but you cannot tell me that Toby is not a reference to his Paranormal Activity days. Never forget that the main entity in the Paranormal Activity franchise is named Toby, the least threatening name that I can think of. I'll be honest, going in the Drop, I thought I had this whole movie figured out just from the trailer alone. It feels like a typical bait and switch thriller plot when in reality, something far more elaborate is happening here. So if you're somebody like me who felt really underwhelmed watching that initial trailer, trust me, this one has a few tricks up its sleeve. This is a spoiler-free review, however, so you'll have to wait until this weekend to find out what I'm talking about. Everybody plays their part really well in this, but honestly, I think the side characters stand out the most. There's this goofy waiter named Matt who is so awkward he nearly had me in stitches every time he came to the table. It felt like a I think you should leave sketch in the best way possible.
What is your problem, man? You know how to fucking drive? No. What?
I think this movie's horror elements could be described as awkward too. As Violet is given these evil instructions, she has to find odd ways to either achieve these fucked up goals or keep the date going so she doesn't lose her target. The trailer and the plot description I literally just read already revealed that she's trying to kill her date Henry, and let me tell you, the guy is getting a bad vibe this entire movie. There are definitely certain moments of this one where you kinda have to suspend your disbelief a little bit to really follow through with this plotline, but if you can do that, it's very rewarding. This movie won me over personally with some excellent constant tension building and some pretty fantastic pacing that never left me bored. Drop is clearly inspired by movies like Wes Craven's Red Eye that does something similar, and if we're really gonna go balls deep into horror history here, movies like Drop, maybe Trapped from M. Night Shyamalan last year, and especially Red Eye would not exist without any Hitchcock thrillers. Drop has this pretty obvious modern vibe while playing off of old school tension building practices. Like, yeah, this movie totally adopts the Hitchcock bomb philosophy, but we're also dealing with a plotline that centers around airdrop technology. I don't remember that in Rear Window. During a recent interview with Christopher Landon, he was talking about his departure from Scream 7, while also talking about the Wes Craven influence in this movie.
You know, I've said to people like, I didn't get to make the Wes Craven movie that I thought I was gonna make, but I made the one I was supposed to make.
Speaking of Scream 7, this movie absolutely proves that Christopher Landon would have done a great job with a new sequel in that franchise. Hopefully one day he actually gets to helm a Scream film. I don't think there's a single director in Hollywood who understands Wes Craven's style as much as this guy. The technical aspects to this film perfectly create a dreadful atmosphere, which is another crucial element to this flick that is lost in so many thrillers I see every year just like this one. The slight Dutch angle on Violet when she receives a new haunting message, or these top-down shots that pull out really fast and leave our main character in the darkness, really representing the obscurity of the situation. The cinematic language alone in this one does more storytelling than the most recent Blumhouse releases. Yes, more turds from Bumhouse. The woman in the yard? More like the woman in the shart. Yeah, man, like, I didn't really care for that one either, but that was just really uncalled for. Sorry, not sorry. I guess my taste is just a little more sophisticated than yours. Anyways, I thought the airdrop killer concept for this movie may be handled poorly, feel kind of cheesy, maybe even a little gimmicky, but thankfully it's handled very well. The film basically approaches the drops as text messages and doesn't make a big stink about them past the goofy memes that kick off the horror elements. They also don't do that thing where we're constantly getting a close-up of the phone to see what the perpetrator sent next. Instead, they have a bunch of text pop up on the screen in like a scary font. At first, it's a little jarring. It almost feels like I'm watching a long trailer for this movie in the movie itself, but when you really think about it, they're able to achieve these much more cinematic shots opposed to just a real close-up on the phone that we just constantly keep cutting to. That's so boring! And this movie found a way to subvert that. I applaud it. They also utilized the fuck out of this restaurant setting. Again, sometimes you gotta suspend disbelief. But man, the more I watch and review horror films, the more I realize the importance of a good setting. I can't even begin to tell you how many horror movies I've turned off at this point for either not having an interesting setting or the situation created just did not hold my interest. This movie does both of those things immediately. I'm skipping over a very crucial element to the plot of this one because I don't want to give anything away, but there is a really nice theme going on through this movie that I enjoyed. I wish I could give you more detail than that, but there's a really nice little duality thing going on here. That's all I'm gonna say. But possibly my favorite thing that I actually can talk about regarding Drop is the pacing. In terms of concept, Drop isn't anything real special, but because of the way it lays out its mystery in a timely fashion, I never felt the drag of this movie. It's short, sweet, and never outstays its welcome. We need more short movies like this, man. Everything is trying to be like an hour 48. Drop has a single objective and it never tries to go beyond that, and that's perfectly fine. Not every movie needs to start a gigantic IP that has 100 sequels and a connected universe. It is unbelievably refreshing to see a new movie in theaters that doesn't have that goal in mind. I have to admit, I was going in with pretty low expectations for this one. 2025 horror has been very up and down, but Drop really delivered and was probably the biggest surprise I've seen so far. Drop, huh? I can think of another 4-letter word that this movie makes me think of. Crap! 2025 has been an exceptionally daft year for the horror film variety. Really? I mean, I thought Ash from Flying Lotus was pretty good. It was basically the Frozen dinner equivalent to Alien. Skip. What about Companion? Ex Machina, but make it forgettable. Pass. Hard Eyes? Another holiday-themed spyglass media slasher where the cops are the killers? Spoiler alert, I guess. The only original idea that company has ever had is to fire its lead from its flagship franchise. Okay, well, is there any movie you liked this year, Rex? Well, I guess I did enjoy this small short film that dropped on YouTube just at the top of the year. Something about a widowed father wearing a chicken mask and killing a bunch of people. Oh, really? You actually liked that? Psych. I'd have a better time watching old fried chicken get discarded in the dumpster at KFC. Okay, well, that's enough of that guy. Personally, I had a great time with Drop. I'm very thankful that I got to see this one early. Definitely check it out in theaters this weekend. Hey everybody, before we wrap up today's review video, please make sure to subscribe to this channel for more weird horror movie reviews just like this. The goal is to hit 40K this year, and if I don't get that, I'm going to cry myself to sleep on December 31st going into the new year. Also, please subscribe to my gaming channel, GullGotha. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers over there. Please subscribe to that page or my wife will leave me. Are you excited for Drop dropping this weekend? Ha! Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching. Please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.